Hey guys, it's Saucy Mouth, and today I'm going to show you a recipe that is so close to my heart. It's one of the reasons why I started cooking, and it's stew. So simple, so easy. It's one of the things I learned to cook when I was in my teens, but I can't wait to show you this hamburger version of stew. And you can actually use regular meat, like stew meat, instead of hamburger meat, but I'm going to show you how to do it with hamburger meat today. I can't wait. Alright, so for this recipe today, we are going to need a pound of lean ground beef. And so I'm just using a big pot that I'm going to cook the meat in, because I just want everything's going to go in this pot, so I don't want to get any other pots and pans dirty. So I'm just going to toss that in. And then with that, we're going to add in, I have 3 cloves of garlic. You can put yours down to 2. We all know that I love it. So that's according to your taste. Now we're just gonna let that get in there and cook, and we're gonna wait for that to all become brown, and then we'll add in everything. So after waiting for the meat to brown, we are going to cut up our potatoes. And I have 3 of these golden potatoes. I chose golden because I'm going to keep the skins on them, and I have already pre-washed them really well. You want to make sure you do that. And let's see here. And I'm going to dice these up. I kind of want them to be in like mini square pieces. And they don't have to be perfect, but that's how I like them. Alright, so I'm on my last potato of cutting. There we go. And I know this looks like a lot of potatoes right here, but I love potatoes. So you can do yours down to 2, or you can get smaller ones. It's totally up to you how you make your stew. So let's check on the meat here. And perfect, everything is all brown. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add in a pinch of pepper, pinch of salt, maybe 2 pinches of salt. And then if you have Saucy seasoning, or if you want to add in a seasoning of your favorite choice, just put some in. And I'm doing about a tablespoon. Perfect. Because with that garlic and the seasoning, and then remember, everything else that we're going to put in is going to go in with the seasoning too. And you can always season later, but it's always good to start seasoning at the beginning, so then all the flavors of the seasoning can combine and come up really well with our meat and the stew. Alright, perfect. Just going to let this cook for just a minute longer before we add in all the other ingredients. Okay, so we're ready to add in the other ingredients. I'm going to start off with, I have 1 can of chicken broth. And you can use beef broth if you like, but I like chicken broth because it's not as dark. I don't want this stew to become a dark stew. So we'll add that in. Next, we'll add in all these potatoes. Oops, one got away. All right. All right, so our potatoes are in. The next thing I'm going to add in is I have a whole bag of baby carrots. And this is where you can decide also how much you'd like to do, but I'm going to add in the whole bag. And I don't want to spend time cutting up the carrots, so I don't mind if mine are whole if you use the baby ones. So that's all in there. Then I'm going to add in a whole can of diced tomatoes. So we'll add that in. Then I have frozen green beans, and I have about a cup of the frozen green beans. Maybe a little over a cup. Then I have onions that I've already pre-chopped, and that's probably a little over a cup also, or 1 whole big onion. Oops. And then lastly, I have a bag of corn. But this corn is has lightly sauce, like a butter sauce on it. And that's what I want, because I want some of that butter sauce in my stew to make everything really great. So I'm going to add this in. Perfect. So simple, so easy. I'm going to give this a stir, and then just going to let this cook and simmer for probably about 2 hours because we want the potatoes and the carrots to really cook down. Now also, I could have waited to let the carrots and the potatoes cook before I added all the other vegetables, but if you're going to do this recipe, you can do it with a slow cooker. And if you're going to do it with that, you just want to brown the meat and then throw everything else in and let it slow cook. And I like to add everything in at once because all the flavors of everything can combine. So we're going to let this simmer for 2 hours. And on a slow cooker, I'd probably say on high for at least 4 hours, probably 4 to 6 hours before it's ready. And you may find you may need to add in a little more liquid, so you can take one of these cups and fill it up with more water if you'd like. And you can go along and see if you want more water, or you can add in more chicken broth or any stock that you'd like. Alright, so we're all ready to have this stew, and I'm going to dish it up here with my ladle. We'll do a couple big scoops of this. Oh, it looks fabulous. And it's still warm. Oh, I can't wait to dig in and have a bite of everything. Now, like I said, you can use a slow cooker, and you can also use stew meat if you don't want to do the ground beef way. So there's lots of different ways you can add in your own different vegetables, different seasonings. You know, just take this as a basic way of making stew and try and make it your own, or you can use my way. It's still hot, but it's so good. I just love how the carrots and their juices just bring out this wonderful taste to the stew. The corn and that butter sauce that was in that corn, the green beans, the diced tomatoes, and that garlic and the ground beef. Of course, Aussie seasoning, and you want to be able to sauce this up like with seasoning or whatever you'd like to make it really tasteful. So all I would do to garnish this would be to serve it with some nice fresh bread, and the family will love this. This is something that actually we'll keep too in the fridge for just a couple days if you'd like, and you can freeze it for about a month. So this is my stew recipe. I hope you check out my recipe at my website, and also find me at Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, enjoy. Thanks.